Hiya, Hertz here, checking in to War Robots. Welcome to War Robots Ultimate Free-to-Play Guide number 1, your first free-to-play day. So, before we begin, an important factor to consider is when do you start War Robots? The later into the month, the harder it is to acquire the super chest as progress resets monthly, as you can see here. This super chest bar will reset monthly, making it that so harder to approach this little thing where you can get the best prizes. Yeah, literally anything here is pretty much good, but I'll go through that later. But also at the same time, data pads become ever so slightly more likely as the season progresses to give more and better rewards. That is up to debate, but so far through testing, my testing, and others, the later in the season that you open them, the better the rewards seem to be. So, with that said, your first free-to-play day, how should you go about doing things? Well, on your first day, your hangar will not be looking like this. You will most likely have 3 slots, that being your first main slot, the slot to the left, and the slot to the right. Because this is really cheap to buy, and this one I'm pretty sure is 100 gold. You're very unlikely able to save up to the 1,000 gold required to unlock this slot, and you're definitely not unlocking this slot because that's 5,000 gold. But trust me, you'll save up the gold eventually. So, with that said, let's see what robots you should be purchasing. What I mean by this is, you can choose whatever you want. Anything here is pretty much viable in the early state of the game. But here are my personal recommendations to help speed up your progress that ever so slightly more. Sorry, I may have just hit the mic. So first up, we got Cossack. This is a pretty much mandatory bot to buy, and it is pretty nice due to the good speed, the jump ability, and the actually okay damage that it can deal. But this is an extremely early bot, so not exactly going to be insane at, later game matches. Destria, the robot that you actually start the game with. Pretty good, got good damage, got okay speed, no ability though, but all around, it's alright. Jeopard, I do not recommend that much that you purchase this unless you really do want a speedy robot that could get around and, capture beacons in the early state of the game, but you're better off just saving the 100 gold and buying the slot at that point to get the third robot. Slot to equip, sorry. So then you got the GI Patton, the first robot that is actually worth your resources. But really is it? Now granted, it is only 500,000 silver, which by the point you unlock it, you pretty much have the resources to buy it. And also, to get it a quad punisher, man, this thing will slap the battlefield for all of 5 games. That's the problem. It kind of gets outclassed rather quick. But I do recommend it at the very, very early stage of the game when you're still going through more of the tutorial battles, because it still slaps really hard. Bolt. By all means, do not buy this. There's really no reason as to why you should purchase this, because even though it's pretty fast and it's got a good ability called Dash, it's not exactly going to survive very long. And in later stages, actually really early on, you'll meet something called the dreaded hurricane bots. And this little bugger will get crushed really fast, even with the dash. But then we get to the bot that you may have recognized that's already in my hangar. Meet Gareth, the one bot that I truly recommend you buy. Because not only does he have a physical shield, his speed is not shabby whatsoever. Especially when I found out when you upgrade him, he gets like +1 or +1 for like 1 or 2 upgrades, and then he immediately starts getting +2, +2, +2 kilometers per hour. Mine is really speedy, as you will probably see in my next video, which will be a combination of matches that I've been so far having. But continuing about Gareth, the physical shield is extremely useful because it's got great durability for the early game. The health, not so much, but the damage output with a medium and a light is not too shabby either. I do recommend this bot. We got Jesse, do not recommend it because, it's literally a more expensive, moderately faster version of the Patton. Don't recommend purchasing. Vietaz, I do not recommend it because even though it's your first heavy you will be able to equip, it's not going to last particularly long, and its speed is pretty bad. It's the speed of a Leo, but like less firepower and a heck of a lot less HP. Rogaka, do not recommend it. The price is so high, you are already capable of buying the 4th slot. And at this point, you would have saved a lot of silver to purchase, not Stalker either, because Well, even though he's got the greatest speed, you could tell you can't upgrade that speed, which means upgrading him only gives you HP and nothing else, not worth upgrading at that point, meaning purchasing is not worth getting either. But this is where it starts to get real. Galahad seems to look like another version of Gareth, because that's what he is, just that his speed is a little bit more slow. He's got okayish HP, a pretty tough physical shield, especially when leveled up, but if you like the physical shield of the Gareth and you like the playstyle, go right ahead, get Galahad. He's got that rhymed as well. That's a really good bot in my opinion. Galahad can do alright, but I don't recommend it because of the steep 3 million silver price. Natasha. This is where the controversy may start. I don't recommend Natasha. Granted, you're getting double heavy, double light. But first off, if you take a close look at this, none of these weapons you want to have on your bot. You got to replace both of these with Thunders and both of these with at least Punishers. So, in reality, you're going to have to spend another few 100,000 silver. If I remember right, let's quickly check this. A Thunder costs 580,000 silver to purchase. You have to buy 2 of those. So at this point, I don't recommend buying Natasha because he is not great HP, ever so slightly faster than Leo, but with the very slightly more damage of the extra heavy, it's not exactly worth it in my opinion, considering how much of the steep cost you're going to have to put in initially. We got Butch. Straight up no. 5 million silver is way too many bots and upgrades you could do with that. That's way too much for early game at this point, and I don't recommend you saving up and spending on this. Butch, even though it's got 4 heavies, there's no good heavy weapons other than the Thunders at this stage in the game. Doc. Okay, he's still bugged. The weapons are supposed to be tilted this way. Doc is alright. He's got 4 lights, but in lights... No, sorry, excuse me. 4 mediums. But the mediums are, like, not insanely powerful at this stage because really all you're going to run is Punishers, and Tulumbas aren't going to pack that much of a punch, and Punishers do, but then you should just have 4 mediums to fire all at the same time. So Doc, with its steep price, not going to recommend it, as in steep price for what you're getting. Carnage, no, you're not going to cause carnage on the battlefield if you buy this. It's got an energy shield that breaks in under a second. Its HP is absolute doo-doo fart. I mean, like, it's not going to exactly last particularly long whatsoever. Its speed is alright and the rush ability is alright. Don't recommend it because its price is now gold. That is stuff you shouldn't be spending on bots. Rhino, same reasoning. Don't spend it. And also, I'm 99% sure his physical shield in his assault mode is currently bugged. You take way too much damage from other weapons that shouldn't be damaging you due to the physical shield than it should be. So, I do not recommend Rhino. Leo. Now, as you can tell by my own hangar, I have a lot of Leos. And yes, I truly recommend him. Over Natasha, by a lot too. Great HP. The speed is only 3 less than Natasha. Almost the same firepower, and don't forget this, the firepower is more of a medium distance as Panadas can hit at 300 meters range with almost pinpoint accuracy if you know how to aim them. The Thunder is great to level up, so if someone actually gets close and personal, you can beat the crap out of them. But moving on now, hover, 4,000 gold. This is the highest price a gold related bot will cost. Do not recommend it because, well, 4,000 gold is like half my gold reserves, and I have been grinding like crazy. Don't recommend getting Hover. Lancelot, same issue, 4,000 gold. Now granted, Lancelot can kick some serious butt, but still, I don't recommend him due to the fact that Lancelot is, really pricey, okay as damage, but also is really easy to get hit by splash damage, and you're not really going to be able to, even though it looks like he's a good corner shooter, you're only firing with 1 medium. He's got really, really bad health for a level 1 bot, and okay his physical shield, but really bad speed, and his rush makes him go pretty quick, but no, I do not recommend him. Alquid, absolute not. This is probably the worst gold purchasable bot in the game. Granted, he's a little fun, because he's the first flying robot you could purchase. Do not recommend him due to the steep price, of course, and not good stats at all. Kumiho. No, it's a dash bot. I know it's a little cheaper, but no, Don't recommend it. Gold is just too precious. It will always be precious. Griffin. Now this is where I highly recommend you at least get one Griffin, because you're going to need medium weapons to equip on this bot. Let's say you win a good medium range weapon, and you can have a good medium build with that one legendary medium weapon that you won. That's really good. So I recommend you get Griffin. Plus, he's actually good speed, good mobility because of his jump ability. Wow, I like rhyming stuff, don't I? And alright HP. And a really good brawling setup with a lot of high-level punishers could really kick some Tier 4 robots' butt. Fusion and Raijin. I'm going to include both of them at the same time. Both of them do pretty much the same purpose. One's good against, like, energy and plasma and, what's it called? Kinetic damage. And this one's good only against kinetic, sonic, missile, and that's about it. So, these two, yeah, neither of them are worth getting. Even though Raijin can have a lot of HP and a lot of survivability, both of them cost gold. I do not recommend it. And that's it for now, as this becomes component bots, which will be a topic for another video. But, lastly, let's get back on the topic of resources. Specifically, keys and data pads. Here's how I say it should go. When you first start the game, don't spend your keys. I know you will be tempted because there will be bots in good weapons. Not insanely good weapons, but good bots and good weapons here. And some pretty good bots and pretty good weapons in this one. I know it's going to be tempting to purchase these as soon as you get there. But at level 23, this box becomes pilots. And just some resources. Pretty much this is actually a really good prize. But yeah, pilots. And this becomes weapons. As you can tell, a lot of weapons. A lot of weapons, and some drones and some resources. But I recommend you save and keep saving for the special event, not this one, of 200% black market chest progress, which means that my 3,280 keys will only open 3 of these boxes, right? But the 200% progress will mean I get 6 of these boxes worth, which effectively, if I have 4,000 keys with the progress that I have here and a 200% event drops, I got a black market chest. I win the black market, which this is where the true fun begins. These bots are where it really gets good. But, and of course, lastly, data pads. The longer the season goes, the more likely you will be able to win a bot. Which from these, at the current moment, there's really nothing good. Currently, they did make the prices a bit better. It used to be a 500 slots here for all of these. But right now, you're going to have to open way too many to get anything worthwhile, with, of course, the best prizes being these, and bots being even more useful than the weapons currently. But I think that's all. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'm Hertz, checking out.